So next up in our Quarantine Talk series, we speak to the British and Irish Lions and Wales captain, Sam Warburton, to see how he's getting on during this lockdown period.
Do you know what? It's like I don't want to rub salt in the wound because there's lots of people out there I know who are obviously finding it tough from a personal point of view. It could be from a health point of view or a business point of view. But because it's come right after the Six Nations, where I was basically in camp for the best part of 2 months, I've really enjoyed just the time at home with the family, you know. So I've missed the rugby side of things, and there's obviously a lot of work lined up with, European rugby, and then there was going to be summer tour to New Zealand and Japan, which is going to be awesome. So there's quite a nice bit of travel in there with rugby, so that's always been taken away. But I managed to get back some valuable time with the family, which, as you know, when you're travelling around, playing, coaching, TV, is invaluable that time. So I've enjoyed being at home. I feel sorry and a little bit frustrated for my daughter because she's really missing child interaction, as you know, father of young ones. It's tough from that point of view, and there's only so much. My knees aren't great. I'm playing hide and seek. I'm finding new hiding places every day in the house. She wants to play every day. I'm like, Mike, honestly, a day at training with Wales as coach is easier than a day at home trying to play with a little one. It's hard work, to be fair. So I feel sorry for her, the lack of play she's getting. But other than that, I'm coping pretty good.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing changes with all the rugby players. I spoke to Stuart Hogg a little while ago, and the one thing he said, he's become brilliant at being a hide and seek champion. So it just seems that you just all have the same mentality. It's like you're at home, but you're doing your best to almost avoid them as much as you can to a certain extent.
Where's your little ones now then, to give you some peace?
Well, I've got one's on nap time and the other one's on the missus having a nap as well. So I've basically come up with this series where I can lock myself away and just chat to guys and call it work. It's all it is. I'm having a great time chatting to them.
Class.
Exactly. But the other thing that every player is saying is that the biggest winner out of all of this are their partners. When you're a rugby player, like you said, you're on the beat, you're away from home, you're travelling, all the rest of it. It's probably the longest period that most of the guys who are currently playing are able to stay at home. So I'm sure your Mrs. Rachel is very grateful for you being at home as well.
The house has never been cleaner. I don't know about you, but because you're at home all the time, you're cooking every meal time at home. We've had good weather, so the back doors are open, so the dog's in and out, the little one's in and out. If I'm not looking after the little one or the dog, I'm doing housework. So you get down to 7 o'clock at night. It's just and then you're shattered. So I'm still really busy doing bits, not like work necessarily, but you're still doing bits. I still got other interests outside of rugby, which have been keeping me really busy anyway. So I have laptop time every day, just getting through some work stuff. So I've actually been. I admit I genuinely haven't sat down and watched a TV series or anything. Somebody asked me the other day what you can watch on Netflix. I haven't had time to watch telly because the 2-3 hours I have at night time, I'm either cooking or doing some work bits and bobs. In the day, I'm just chasing Anna around and like I say, housework and the dog. So I've been nicely distracted. I saw Dan Bigger say something interesting, it's like a trial retirement, but it almost is because I remember when I first finished. I'm not sure what you did when you first finished, but I remember I gave myself 2-3 months of nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then after 2-3 months, I was like, right, I need something. So it'd be interesting to see how the players cope with, not being. For me, I never cared about this anyway. But some players, they enjoy the publicity of being on telly and perhaps having their social media feeds full of compliments and chasing games and competition. And for me, I was happy to say goodbye to that. But it'd be interesting. Some players now in the prime of their careers are coping with that. It'd be quite a good way to. It makes you realise you need a life outside of rugby. Otherwise, you're just going to drive yourself mad.
You're absolutely right, and that leads me perfectly on to my next question. Because for lots of people or individuals, whether you play sports or not, this is a transition period of being able to operate slightly differently, find a new structure, a new routine. You recently retired, and it seems like you've coped with that pretty well. How about this transition now from being immersed in the midst of a Six Nations, your first coaching roles, part of the WRU, something which you've taken on really well. By the way, your footballing skills are outstanding. If no one's seen your first touch.
Oh, mate, I did that in training, right? And loads of the boys were like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Oh, that's not a fluke." And I was like, because whenever we finished training, the interns meant to get the balls off like Lee Halfpenny and Dan Bigger.
Yeah.
And I love staying back after training once the boys have done their extras and I've done my bits with them. I'm like, "Oh no, I'll get the balls with the boys." You know what we're like. You bring a football out. We love kicking, especially forwards. Any excuse to kick. So I still call myself a forward, ex-forward. So I just stay back after training and just catch balls for the lads. I love it. And I just whack them back. And so when it's warm-up time on match days, I like to get out. I can enjoy the atmosphere now because I'm not wrapped up in the nerves of playing. So I go out early for warm-ups now, and I just help the kickers, before the team get together. So, and I love doing that. So we got a guy who works at WIU-TV, and I was like, "Mate, you've got to get this now on camera." And he got, oh mate, the one in Twickenham was so sweet. And like, I was trying to keep in my excitement, but I knew, mate, I couldn't be any better. I was so happy. It was on Instagram, I was like, "Mate, edit that." And that's going on my Instagram in like 5 hours. I need that up quick, But I do practice. I fancy myself as a bit of a footballer.
Tell you what, I would have been bursting with excitement, but it feels as if a little bit like the new celebration is no celebration. You gave a little finger to the air, I think, and that was about it. I think you actually pointed. Did you get that? You could have got that.
That's it. I love Sunday Day. I love it. So I really miss that.
Tell me, you say you missed that. What else do you miss apart from the skills and everything else like that, which we've already just touched upon? But what do you miss about rugby, especially your new role within the rugby?
It's that elite environment. It's why I love the TV work. I love being at the coalface pitch side, talking about the game at the elite level, and then coaching it at the elite level as well. And but that's what I really miss. I miss the elite side of the game, and that's why I kind of went back into coaching. And it's a nice commitment to coaching because it's a 5-month-a-year commitment. Yeah. It's only campaign based, where the other coaches are in full time. They're employed on payroll with the WIU. I'm just campaign basis, So it's quite nice. I can dip in and I can dip back out. So I really enjoy, I was honest with the WIU, I really enjoy my television and broadcast work. So I want to keep up that, outside of campaign. So I was ready to jump back into European rugby. So what would be now, May time. But so that's been frustrating not to be able to be back in those elite environments. I just love being in that. And I wouldn't necessarily sit down now and watch rugby games for the sake of watching rugby, but I love doing the analysis on it and breaking the game down and portraying that to people, and then now as a coaching role to players and dealing with youngsters. And, we're in the privileged position. We've played for our countries and played for the Lions. And now I look at the youngsters coming up. I'm just so excited for them on what they could achieve. What's coming. But they don't know how good it is to play for your country or play for the Lions. It's amazing, and I love to help them with that journey. I can never really thought of it from a player's perspective, but I would take so much satisfaction in seeing a young Welsh player now who I might have only had 10% of time with, but to see him try and break through into Lions rugby and test team Welsh players, you take a lot of satisfaction from that. So that's what I'm missing now, missing working with the young players and all the team, but just constantly trying to chase excellence, So that's a little bit of a bummer that that's gone now. But hopefully, Test will be back up and running. Hopefully, hope this summer. Who knows? By maybe August. I don't know. I think there's a lot of plans up in the air at the minute. Yeah. But hopefully, we can have it back within the next few months. So.
You just mentioned the Lions. I just wonder if you've been in contact with your rugby dad, Warren Gatland. He's prolific on social media at the moment, isn't he? Everything.
No, I haven't actually. No, I haven't had any contact with him. So only indirectly, I've had some contact with guys like say Sean Edwards, and I didn't manage to catch up with him when we played France. But I think the world of those guys. They're amazing coaches. But I haven't spoken to anyone since. I'm lucky that the guys involved in Wales are really experienced. So the analysts, so every coach almost has an assigned video analyst, and the video analyst that I've been working with a lot has been on the last 3 Lions tours. You know him yourself. Yeah. So I've got, and then obviously there's the coaches, which has got a lot of experience as well. So there's so much experience around me. So they're the guys who've sort of been nurturing me at the minute and really helping me along. But I haven't spoken to Dad yet. No.
You've got to look after the elderly, mate. I think you should put it. When I saw it, I'm not sure I can call it body popping, but whatever it was, I was worried. I was concerned. So. You might just want to make that call. You mentioned something earlier on about having business interests outside of the sport, and that's something you've been really savvy at. You've got your academy, you've got the gym,
Yeah.
which you've set up just recently, all things which I guess dovetail perfectly off the back of rugby. I mean, what message would you have to some rugby players who are watching this in terms of being proactive, of course, being the best rugby player you can be, but making sure you future-proof whatever your second career is going to be?
Yeah, I mean, I was very lucky that the chairman at the Blues, when I throughout my whole career, was Peter Thomas, who was really big into property. And I remember when I was like a young 20-year-old, he said to me, "What are you doing?" And I was only on, I wasn't on great money back then. He said, "What are you doing with your money now then?" And I was like, "Oh, well, ISA or private pension." And I remember he just said property, and he explained to me why. We just sat on the plane on an away trip going somewhere. We were going up to Edinburgh to play Pro 14 or something. And I just went into it, and I just looked into it myself. So I thought, why isn't everyone doing this? I don't know why people don't do it. So I've always been really keen to invest in property throughout my career. So whenever like a Six Nations came in or Lions, wherever guys are buying, Rolexes and cars and that, and I was, ringing up this list, mate, like I chuck over another property for some conveyancing, and I was really quite sensible. Me and Reece Patchell, we always joke. There's the quote, "Live fast, die young." But we always say, "Live slow, die old." And just a bit like that's what we. Don't get me wrong, you've got to enjoy yourself. I enjoy, holidays, all that, of course. But you've got to, like you say, future-proof yourself for life after rugby. So now, I still. I don't manage the properties myself. I got somebody to do that, but I still actively keep an eye on what's going on, and especially with what's going on now with COVID-19. There's all sorts of issues going on, so that keeps me busy. Keeping the property stuff alive. Then the academy that I'm running with my mate, which is just a passion of mine. I love houses and I love fitness. That's just my two things outside of rugby that I love. So it's not really a work for me. It's not a chore because I absolutely love it anyway. I always have done from a young age. So it's nice I've got them to keep me busy. It's something that I that did keep me busy as soon as I finished playing. But rugby takes a huge part of your life as a player. And you think it's the be all and end all, but it's not really until you come to the end or you start a family, you realise that there's life after rugby. And we were chatting about this with another discussion and telling a younger player about the future. Like telling a 19-year-old rugby player, 20-year-old rugby player to look at his career after rugby is almost like telling a 30-year-old you need to write a will. That's kind of like the situation. Because you think, well, what's the point of that? It's miles off. But you need to do it, and it comes up sooner than you think. And I remember being that young player in team meetings thinking, this is boring. They got somebody coming in to talk about pensions. And now I'm here at 31 preaching, you got to get your act together and get your life sorted. So without doubt, find a passion of yours. And the one thing I did when I was younger, I was like, I'm not going to go out chasing ideas. I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to let something will gravitate towards you, which you feel passionate about. And when that thing comes, it's almost like meeting the one, like your wife. That's it. That's what I want to do. I want to pursue this, and that's what I was like. So find something you're passionate about because you're going to be able to put the right amount of energy and motivation into it, and use that as a little project to keep you busy post career.
Well, good on you, mate. You're a brilliant example of that. You like keeping fit. You said you like your properties as well, and it's quite obvious that you're still working out. You've rolled the sleeves up nicely just to display the goods. Biceps.
I'm chasing you, mate, because I can't be on BT looking skinny next to you. That's what.
Yeah, mate. But how are you keeping yourself fit? How are you keeping your body and your mind fresh and healthy during this period?
I'd be one of those guys. People are like, "Oh, you're one of those retired players who can't let go." I'm like, no, I'd be training flat out if I wasn't a rugby player. I was sneaking into gyms when I was 14 anyway. I just loved it, and I find it therapeutic. But the house I'm in now, which I bought a couple of years ago, I remember the garage is, it's a good sized garage, nice high ceilings and that. And straight away I said to my wife, "That'd be an amazing gym." And she was like, "No chance," And 18 months later, I got it after a lot of campaigning. So I converted the thing into a gym. So like proper job, like from plastering, electrics, windows, doors, flooring, mirrors, equipment. I got proper team in to do it properly. So I've got the gym in my house. So it's only like it's bigger than a single garage, but it's not quite a double. It's like a 1.5. But
I've kitted
it out with everything I need. But it's everything I need. So I'm in there basically probably 5-6 days a week. Still training and stuff, and I just find it therapeutic. Some people just don't get that at all, but I generally find training therapeutic. So I'm in there quite a lot, and I create myself a routine each day. So not vigilant, but wake up with a little one, sort of breakfast, go for a dog walk, then come back, play with the little one again, late morning, have some lunch, and I jump in the gym in the afternoon. So, and then I sort of wind down with the little one in the evening. And then I do some work bits on the laptop at night, or sit in front of the telly and enjoy a nice meal with my wife again. So I've got quite a nice little routine going. So I think that's what people miss. They miss that routine because a lot of people, they're not CEOs of companies or leaders. They're just people who go to work each day, be told what to do. And I like a little bit of that routine as well. I like to be told what to do a little bit. So I'm creating that routine for myself.
That's why we got married.
Yeah, exactly, mate. No, we're all talking absolute rubbish if we say we're the boss of our relationship. If any bloke says that, they're talking crap. So I've got the official CEO downstairs of the family. She's the CEO of the family. Yeah. I'm just a sort of managing director, I guess, but she's definitely CEO.
Well, so I've got a few questions before I let you go. If you could choose one person to go into isolation with, who would it be and why? And you can't say your family and your kids. We're taking that for granted.
So take away any sentimental kind of answer. Yeah. I think he's somebody I've always wanted to meet. He's like I've always loved him from a young age. But Will Smith, if I could spend an afternoon or a meal, I just think, mate, he cracks me up. I love everything he does, from his films, from his Instagram feed. Whenever I see him on an interview, he just seems like, I love his energy and his positive attitude and his outlook on life, and he just cracks me up. So probably someone like Will Smith would be a good bit of fun, I think.
And anyone from the rugby fraternity?
I guess, there's a couple of lads who I've always got on with pretty well. I mean, the guys I've roomed with most of my career, like Dan Lydiate, for example, we spend so much time together, and it's easy, so I think we figured out we must have spent like probably 6 months to a year. We must have lived with each other in rooms, and tours and things like that. So someone like Dan is really easy company. I've been on holiday with him, and we took our families together on holiday, so he'd be easy to be in. So Dan is probably the person who I've spent most time with, and we could probably tolerate each other the best out of all the rugby lads.
Fair play. Anyone you wouldn't want to be isolated with?
From rugby or anywhere?
From rugby.
Will they mind if I say it? There's a couple of lads. Oh my god!
Came pretty quick to you. It came pretty quick to you this afternoon.
There's three guys I room with: Liam Williams, Samson Lee, and Aaron Shingler. Oh my god, mate! Like the snoring. Aaron Shingler. You won't mind me saying this because we're pals. But I was 2 o'clock in the morning. I was playing the All Blacks the next day, and I was like, I'm gonna have to drive home, and get 4 or 5 hours sleep and sneak back in the morning. It was a joke. I just couldn't sleep, and I'm too nice to bang someone over the head and say shut up, or hit them over the head with a pillow to wake them up. So those two boys, I just remember panicking whenever I roomed with them because they just snored like there was no tomorrow. Normally, you get a front row on his back.
Yeah,
at night time, mate. It's an uphill battle from there. So you can't. If you're rooming with a front row, make sure you don't fall asleep on his back, otherwise you're done for the night.
Yeah, you're right. Tell me, if you could replay one match again, what would it be?
I didn't realise at the time because we had another job to do the week after. But I wish I could go back and relive the second test in 2017 for the Lions in Wellington when we beat the All Blacks. Because I remember doing the post-match interview directly after, but I couldn't accept the win. It almost felt like, it was just like 3/3 had been played. We were 2/3 of the way through. It was one apiece, so it didn't feel like a win. It was just like 66% of the job. That was because I remember from day one we were like, we have to win this, and our challenge is to be the single best rugby team in the world, and nothing else would have been enough. We had to beat them, and I always say this: you can beat someone once, doesn't mean you're the best team in the world if you beat them once. But if you can back it up and beat them twice, then you can definitely say you are the best team in the world. Because you can have the rub of the green for a game, referee's decision, whatever. So I was like, right, we have to win the third test. We have to win the third test. I couldn't sit back and enjoy that moment. Now in hindsight, I look back at that achievement in 2017. I wish I could have enjoyed that second test more, and I do now. I still look back now and think, oh wow, what an amazing achievement that was. But if I could relive one, with the atmosphere in the cake tin, in Wellington, that was that was pretty special to beat the back-to-back world champions, from the Lions away from home. And they hadn't lost for something like 42 games at home or something ridiculous. I didn't know that till after the game. But yeah, I wish I could relive that. That was a pretty epic moment, I guess, in sort of modern rugby union anyway.
Yeah, special game, special tour. If you didn't play rugby, what job would you want to do?
I did. I was going to apply to be a physiotherapist. My twin brother's a physiotherapist, so he's fortunate enough to have a job in the Welsh Rugby Union now, as well. He's with the Sevens team at the minute. So realistically, I probably would have gone into something like physiotherapy and wanted to break into professional sport, because I was just seeking that professional sporting environment, So if I couldn't make it as a player, I would have aspired to have been there as a member of management, I think, as well. So I probably would have followed my brother's path and tried to become a top sports professional physiotherapist as well.
Fair play. If you could have one meal every day in isolation, what would it be? Give you a starter.
That's a hell of a question.
Yeah,
that's a great question. This is going to be ridiculous now, but I only treat myself to this when I wake up and I really feel like a treat. But I'd love to wake up and have a guilt-free bowl of Frosties like every morning, but not just a bowl of Frosties, mate. Like when I have a cheat meal, I get those big glass Pyrex mixing bowls like that, and I chuck in literally half a cereal box with 2 pints of milk. I wish that was healthy. I remember chatting to Jimmy Roberts. I remember he said, "Mate, I could live off cereal and yogurt for the rest of my life if I could." And I love like chili con carne and all those meals. But mate, if Frosties or something like that, this isn't an endorsement. I mean, I'm not endorsed by any cereal, just to put it out there. But to have something like that or crunchy nut every morning, and it would be healthy for me, would be epic. Like, it's so boring, but I love cereal. I love cereal. So yeah, something like that, I think.
That's not the answer I was expecting. I was expecting a burger or a lamb shank. It's been quite varied. No one's gone down the breakfast route, I've got to say.
I wake up in the morning, I just think I got to eat. I'm just one of those. I love breakfast, So I have it before bed. When I was a kid, I used to grow up on it. I used to have it every morning and every night before bed. I just grew up on cereal. I loved it. So like curry. I love curry and all that. And we treat ourselves to 2 curries a week now, and we cook one. We're doing loads of home cooking, which is nice, doing the sort of gusto meals or whatever they're called. So we do a lot of home cooking, and we get 1 takeaway curry as well. So that's like our treat for the week. But Frosties every morning would be epic.
Fair play, mate. Fair play. I'll accept that. Got kids at home. No doubt you've been making use of Sky, BT, whatever satellite service that you're using, as well as the iPad. So tell me, what's your favourite Disney film?
Oh, Lion King.
Yeah.
Anna's been watching that loads lately. So my little one's Anna, sorry. And I tried to get into Lion King about a year ago when she was about 2, but she was a bit too young for it. She wanted a bit more of the sort of babyish stuff. Now she's old enough, and they're doing the new. The Disney have done the real animation type films as well.
Yes.
And the new Lion King. I don't know if you've seen it. It was out last year, but it's those new animation films from Disney are brilliant. Jungle Book, Lion King. So I love the classics because that's what I grew up with. But the new animation Disney films are amazing. So I have to go with Lion King. Yeah.
Okay. And final question: if you could be any superhero, who would it be?
I said this in a Q&A once. I'm not sure if it went down too well, but I said Sam Warburton. But really, I
oh, that's so good. What was the Q&A? Twickenham Stadium, was it?
I was in Yams Park, luckily, in the Cardiff Fans Park, so luckily I had my own fans listening. But it was only a joke. Superhero. I would have to be... I'd be Hulk. Yeah, I'd have to be Hulk. It's a massive, imposing, physical specimen, So I go with Hulk. Out of interest, what would you be?
I've always said I want to be Batman, but I keep saying to everyone, he's not that popular a figure right now, considering what happened in Wuhan. Do you know what I mean? So everyone's staying away from that. Superman's far too obvious.
Yeah, I know, you've got to think outside the box a bit,
Yeah, I've actually not given it too much thought. Spoke to Sir Khaleesi, and he said Wakanda. Have you seen the film?
No, is that a new one? Is it?
No, hang on. Let me Google it. This is awful. I should actually know this off the top of my head. It's Black Panther.
Oh, Black Panther. Yeah, yeah. I haven't seen the film, but my nephews have seen it. Yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, but is that cliche? I just don't know. I just don't know.
I always thought if I could have a superpower, and this might sound a bit of a joke, but this is highlight when you have a family, who would be, and this would be a realistic one, not like to fly. If you have a realistic superpower, mine would be to fall asleep at the click of the fingers, because I'm one of those people, I lie in bed for an hour and a half every night, and with the little ones waking up and stuff, I see people drop off within 1 minute, and I've always had envy. So if I could have a superpower, a realistic one, to fall asleep at the click of the fingers, I'd be a new man. I'd have probably 2 extra hours sleep a night. It'd be incredible. You can nap when you want, so I'd probably have something like that.
I'll tell you what, I'll go a step further, and it's have the power to get my kids to sleep whenever I wanted.
Even better. Actually, that's the one. That would be the one. Put your kids down within 5 minutes. That'd be an epic superpower, actually.
I could literally do what I want. I could actually spend some time with the missus. It'd be great. Or
I mean, I'm lying in bed with my little one for half hour a night at the minute, because if I don't, my wife's done it. You know what it's like. She's been quite strict on the bedtime routine. She'd be like, "Oh, Daddy, can you just cuddle me to sleep?" So I'll go, go on then. Because I'm like, they'll be grown up and old soon, and she'll be getting picked up by some 17-year-old boy racer before you know it. So I do it. But then there are evenings where I'm lying there thinking, I'm literally she's just faffing around for 25 to 30 minutes. I'm just lying there waiting for her to fall asleep. So yeah, that would be a pretty cool superpower, to be fair. Save a lot of time.
I went into my daughter's bedroom the other night. She was screaming, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy, I'm having a nightmare." I was like, "Oh, poor thing." So you leap out of bed. It's 3:30 in the morning. I'm angry, but I'm also empathetic. You've woken up, but you're having a nightmare. So I go in. She sat up bolt upright. She wasn't having a nightmare. She just wanted me to come in. I was like, "Phoenix, what do you want?" And she was like, "Do you know they think quick? They need."
Oh yeah, you can see her thinking.
Daddy, I want some water. So I give her the cup, and she's like, "No, Daddy, fresh water." Oh my God.
They make you do it, though, don't they?
Exactly. I walk into the bathroom, I fill up her cup, give her a cup. She has a sip, and then she's like, you can see slowly going to sleep. Next thing you know, she spills the water all over her bed. She's soaking, the duvet soaking, the mattress is soaking, so I have to undress her. Change the sheet. It's 3:30 in the morning. Dad just wants to go to sleep. I'm going to be up in 3 hours. Give us a break. And, I know. And you lied. So anyway, we're all having to deal with this at this time. And just before you go, I think everyone's looking for leadership. They're looking for positivity. Obviously, you're an incredible leader of men. What message would you send out to people at the moment who would be struggling through this time, mentally, physically, health-wise, and everything in between? What would your message be to the public?
I tell you what, I always think this, and I know some people have been affected with the illness, so obviously, I hope they're okay. But I remember I met Joos van der Westhuizen before he passed away, and I saw an interview he did soon after, and he said, the 3 things in life you take for granted when you get given a terminal illness, and most people take for granted when they're just living day to day, is family, health, and time. He says, not until those 3 are at risk that you wish you could have those back. So, I recently lost an auntie who passed away, pretty prematurely during this time. And it just makes you realise that, okay, if I had to sit in my house for 3 weeks, but I'm going to come out of it healthy, and I could have the luxury that I could live potentially. I could have another 50 Christmases to enjoy. I've got the luxury that I don't know. There's some people out there that don't have that luxury. They know when their end is coming. So I think just to try and gain some perspective in these times is really important. And, I always think of those 3 things that, Joos van der Westhuizen said, and it just puts things into perspective.
Legend. Well put, Sam. Thank you so much for your time.
Cheers, Oops. No worries, that was good fun.
Chatting to you. Good man. Well, take care. Look after your family. Stay safe and stay at home. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, nice one. Cheers, Oops. I'll see you soon.